Your person is moving through one of the most intense emotional transformations of their life, almost as if they've been placed on an unpredictable roller coaster ride with no option to step off. Their inner world feels shaken, even shattered at moments, because the absence of your energy has forced them to confront truths they had long ignored. What they once believed about themselves, their relationships, and the way they move through life is dissolving, creating a kind of ego death that is both frightening and liberating for them. They're realizing that the identity they clung to, the defenses, the pride, the avoidance, the emotional walls, was never truly aligned with their soul. And as this false self crumbles, they find themselves seeking the very energy that awakened these buried layers within them, you. They think about you far more than you might realize. Thoughts of rekindling the connection surface again and again, not from a place of impulsive longing, but from a deep understanding that what they felt with you was profoundly different from anything they have known. They're no longer pointing fingers or holding on to narratives that blamed you for their discomfort, triggers, or insecurities. Those stories have lost their power. Instead, they see how much of their pain came from wounds they carried long before you entered their life. Your presence simply illuminated them. And for the first time, they're recognizing this illumination as a blessing rather than a burden. They see you now as a gift, someone whose soul crossed paths with theirs for a meaningful reason. You didn't just walk into their life, you activated something vast within them, something they could not ignore even if they tried. You pulled their hidden emotions, fears, and unhealed parts to the surface, not to hurt them, but to help them see what they had been avoiding. This awakening has been uncomfortable, even overwhelming, but ultimately it is becoming the catalyst for their healing. They're beginning to accept that you didn't cause their pain, you revealed it. And in that revelation, they found the path toward transformation. Because of this clarity, they are now deeply focused on bettering themselves and, by extension, the connection with you. It's not a superficial effort, nor is it driven by desperation. It's intentional, steady, and rooted in the awareness that if they want to rise in this connection, they must rise within themselves first. They're blocking out external influences, negative opinions, unnecessary attachments, unhelpful habits, and distracting energies that once clouded their judgment. They want to find their true purpose, their true voice, and the version of themselves that can stand beside you with confidence, maturity, and emotional depth. Just like you, they're learning to bring balance to their masculine and feminine energies. They're softening without losing strength, and strengthening without closing off their heart. Meditation, inner work, self-reflection, and spiritual surrender are becoming part of their daily life. They're beginning to trust the divine timing of this connection, understanding that forcing outcomes never leads to alignment. For perhaps the first time, they're allowing themselves to surrender, truly surrender, not out of weakness but out of faith. Your person feels an increasing sense of safety when they think of you. Not a dependent or fragile safety, but the kind that comes from recognizing a soul who understands them even when they struggle to understand themselves. They admire your compassion, your depth, your intuition, and your emotional wisdom. They see you as someone who carries an ancient sword of knowing, as if your soul has lived through countless lifetimes and gathered profound insight along the way. This quality in you, your depth, your empathy, your ability to feel beyond the surface, makes them feel seen, accepted, and understood in ways they rarely experience with others. The more they reflect, the more they realize how rare your connection truly is. It's not simply romantic or emotional, it's transformative. It challenges, heals, inspires, and awakens. And while the journey has been difficult, they now acknowledge that they needed this shake-up, this soul-level push, to grow into the version of themselves they are becoming. They want to rebuild the connection not from old patterns, but from a new foundation shaped by awareness, honesty, vulnerability, and mutual growth. They're ready to put in the effort. They're ready to take responsibility. They're ready to rise with you rather than run from the intensity you evoke within them. And through all the changes, all the uncertain moments, one truth keeps returning to them: their heart feels safe with you, and their soul recognizes something timeless in yours. Never before in my life have I met someone who can make me feel so beautiful, so deeply seen, simply with a glance. The way your eyes rest on me makes me feel as though I matter in a way I never knew was possible. When I look into your eyes, I feel your love without you needing to say a single word. It's a warmth, a certainty, a kind of silent reassurance that sinks into me and settles in places where I used to carry doubt. Before you came into my life, I often felt directionless. I didn't know what I wanted, where I belonged, or what path I should take next. I wandered through days with uncertainty weighing on me, feeling as if I was drifting without an anchor. But then you appeared, quietly, naturally, almost as if fate had been waiting for the right moment to bring you into my world. You came not only as a lover but as a true friend, someone who listened, who understood, who saw my fears without judging them. You taught me so many things, lessons that changed the way I saw myself and the way I saw life. Your patience softened the places in me that were hardened by past experiences. Your encouragement helped me believe that I could choose my own destiny, that I had every right to stand up for my own choices, my dreams, my happiness. You gave me courage, not through pressure, but through love, gentle, unwavering love that reminded me I was capable of more than I had ever allowed myself to believe. No matter where life takes us, whether the road is smooth or filled with challenges, I want you to know something with absolute certainty: I will always be by your side. Even when things become chaotic, even when emotions become tangled because of past pain, trauma, or fears we carried long before we met, my commitment to you remains constant. I know life has not always been kind to us. We have both faced moments of confusion, heartbreak, and instability. But despite all of that, or maybe even because of it, I understand just how precious our connection truly is. Trust me when I say this: I will never abandon you again. I carry that promise with all the sincerity of my heart. There are mistakes in my past that I wish I could erase, moments where I faltered or didn't understand the weight of my actions. For those moments, I ask for your forgiveness. Not because I expect it, but because I hope you can see the growth, the change, and the depth of my love for you reflected in who I am now. Every day, I try to become a better version of myself, not out of pressure, but because you inspire me to rise, to evolve, to be someone worthy of the love you so generously give. Whenever I look at your pictures, I feel overwhelmed with happiness. Just the sight of your face, the softness of your smile, the light in your eyes, fills me with a joy I struggle to put into words. It feels like a reminder that something beautiful and rare chose to enter my life. Our connection is unlike anything I have ever experienced. It is real, grounding, and powerful. It feels like two souls who have known each other far longer than the time we've spent together in this life. You treat me like a king, not because of grand gestures or extravagant words, but through the simple, consistent ways you show your affection. The way you speak to me, the way you appreciate me, the way you hold space for me, it all makes me feel valued in a way I never imagined possible. I am filled with gratitude every time I feel your love. It is a warmth that reaches into every insecure part of me and gently quiets the doubts that once felt so loud. Before you, I never saw myself as handsome, smart, or exceptionally capable. I often minimized my strengths and highlighted my flaws. But you have this incredible way of reflecting back the best parts of me, parts one didn't even realize were there. You make me believe I am more than enough, that I am someone worth loving deeply, wholeheartedly. And because of you, I walk through life with a confidence I've never known before. It's not just confidence in how I look or how intelligent I am, it's confidence in who I am as a person. You've given me something priceless, a sense of worth, a sense of identity, and a love that feels genuine and safe. For all of that, and for countless things I struggle to articulate, I love you. I love the way you love me, the way you see me, and the way you've helped me see myself. I love who I am when I am with you, and I love the future that feels possible because of what we share. You have a deep and steady inner knowing that this person truly loves you, even if circumstances or silence have made that difficult to see at times. Beneath all the confusion and distance, you can still feel the unmistakable pull of their heart toward yours. They have come to realize that there is genuinely no one like you, no one who carries your energy, your softness, your strength, or the unique way you touched their life. As they move through their days without you, they have become increasingly aware of how empty and unsatisfying things feel. The life they tried to build apart from you hasn't brought them the peace or fulfillment they once hoped for, and this absence has pushed them into a quiet period of reflection. They find themselves thinking back on the moments you shared, small memories, simple conversations, the comfort of your presence. These memories keep resurfacing, reminding them of how deeply they were connected to you. The warmth you offered so naturally is something they didn't fully appreciate before, and now they are realizing how profoundly those moments shaped them. Each memory feels like a gentle ache, a reminder of what they lost and what they still hope to regain. While they've been sitting with their regrets and realizations, you've been transforming in your own powerful way. You changed your path, you stopped allowing toxic behaviors, draining people, and unhealthy dynamics to pull you down. You made a conscious decision to protect your peace, your energy, and your emotional well-being. This shift hasn't been easy, but it has been incredibly transformative. You've stepped into your divine feminine power with confidence, self-respect, and clarity. You no longer settle for less than you deserve, and this new version of yourself radiates strength and self-assurance. From a distance, your person has been watching this transformation, and it has left a deep impression on them. They are not only proud of the person you're becoming, they're inspired by it. Your growth has shown them what true resilience looks like. It has shown them what happens when someone chooses healing over fear, boundaries over chaos, and self-worth over attachment. Seeing you rise above the pain they once contributed to has awakened something within them. It has pushed them to reflect more honestly on their own actions, their patterns, and the ways they failed to appreciate you. This reflection has sparked a shift in them as well. They feel a growing determination to take control of the situation between you both, not in a forceful or reckless way, but with sincerity, maturity, and intention. They want to come forward with clarity instead of confusion, honesty instead of excuses, and commitment instead of inconsistency. They have become serious about what they feel for you, and they're no longer interested in running from it or pretending it isn't real. They recognize now that love like this doesn't come often, and losing you was far more painful than confronting their own fears. However, beneath this determination, they are also experiencing a sense of panic, an emotional urgency driven by the guilt and regret they feel for how they treated you in the past. They know they did you wrong. They know they caused suffering, whether through neglect, dishonesty, avoidance, or simply not showing up in the way you deserved. This realization weighs heavily on them. They fear that they may have damaged things beyond repair or that you've grown so much that you might not want them back at all. This panic isn't rooted in entitlement but in the painful awareness of the consequences of their own actions. Despite this fear, they hold a deep admiration for you. They see you as someone pure in heart and calm in spirit, someone who navigates life with authenticity instead of manipulation. You've always stayed true to yourself and treated the people around you with honesty, loyalty, and compassion. You don't play games, you don't cheat or lie, and you don't use people for personal gain. Your integrity is rare, especially in a world where many people act from selfish motives or hidden agendas. Your sincerity stands out to them more than ever before. They appreciate you not only for the love you gave them but for the person you are at your core. They recognize your value in a way they didn't before, and this recognition fuels their desire to rebuild something meaningful with you, to show up differently, to communicate openly, and to meet you at the level of emotional maturity you've stepped into. In their eyes, you are irreplaceable, not because they can't find another relationship, but because they know they will never find another soul like yours. You touched their life with a level of honesty, vulnerability, and emotional depth that they didn't know how to handle at the time. Now, as they watch you grow and rise into your power, they feel both humbled and inspired. They want to rise too, they want to match the energy you've stepped into. And deep down, they hope that it isn't too late. They hope that the love between you still has room to evolve, to heal, and to become something even stronger than before. They hope for another chance, not to repeat old patterns, but to create a future built on respect, clarity, and genuine devotion.